Afternoon. How are you today? It's pleasant out here. It's overcast. It's in the 60s, and so the jacket is comfortable. And yes, even when I work at home, sometimes I wear jackets and ties and stuff like that because it puts me in the mood. But I've always said to myself that if I'm dressed and a client calls or I go meet them or something, it's much more reassuring to see me dressed like something like this than wearing sweatpants and a torn t-shirt that has dirt from the field. So what's going on? Well, anybody who's been to the department store can see what's going on, or the grocery store, or the gas station. And it's funny, I watched a week or so ago when Chris Christie was saying, oh, how long are people going to put up with the pump being $5 a gallon? And that day I got gas and it was $4 a gallon. And I thought to make something of it, but then it kept creeping up all week. And as much as I hate to admit it, Chris Christie is right. So what's the analysis? The analysis is that the largest component of inflation, that is of rising prices, appears to be related to fossil fuels. Biden said something interesting yesterday, I thought. Having opened up federal lands for drilling and so forth, I assume these are BLM lands, Bureau of Land Management, Department of Interior, that he said, he gave them the opportunity to drill and they're not drilling because they'd rather make funds, sort of like OPEC, control the supply, the demand is up, increased in excess of supply, and so you pay a premium price. So is inflation a function of greed? Is it done with intent? Is it done accidentally? Do they have policy explanations for it? Or are they just taking profit because they can and can get away with it? Your vote, my vote is, well, these guys are pigs, with all due deference to my own group of very friendly, nice pigs that shouldn't be connected with the fossil fools that are taking our money at the pump. Let's go back to the hearing. I think I haven't been out to talk about the hearing, but you may have seen from my tweets that I thought that they did meet the concerns that I had, which is tie it to Trump, Trump, Trump. And I specifically said I wasn't so concerned or interested, I thought, in having a rehash of how the guards suffered, as important as that was, given that the short timeline they had of 2 hours for the opening hearing. Now, having said that, I thought they did something that was really smart with the lady who suffered terribly on the day of the insurrection. And what I thought we got out of it was how the tables are turned on people who serve and risk their life to protect the government are called these names. But the other aspect of it was that the filmmaker gave us an indication, though that may not have been his intent when he was filming, of how they were preparing. In other words, they had the intent to do it. It's not like all of a sudden they said, hey, let's invade the Congress. It made a very clear plan. And besides what they did in that second hour, the first hour laid out very clearly the combination of bad actors. So did it have any effect? Well, 20 million people apparently watched it. And that's more than watch the impeachment. And to give you an idea, I think MSNBC gets 2 million listeners. And when I haven't gone on Fox, they've told me, I should come on because they have many more listeners than MSNBC. But 20 million people watching all the networks and picking it up online is a significant statement. The kind of thing that's a game changer in midterms, the kind of things that made a difference, for example, when people thought chasing Clinton didn't make sense, given that his indiscretion was more personal than public, because it didn't affect public policy, though what he did was terrible. And so an impeachment was not as a matter of, quote, law appropriate, even though what he did was scandalous. Here we have a situation in which you challenge the very democracy and you think you're going to get away with it. And no one can say that looked like a bunch of tourists walking through the Capitol. So I thought that was very good. The question is, has anybody woken Garland from his slumber? What a worthless piece of, you fill in the word there. When you do your Mad Libs, think of what adjectives and adverbs would apply to a man who's in a position to know and see the worst things that were done on that day, both to set it up before and afterwards, and to do nothing about it. I almost said other words, so that's why I sounded a little funny. So that's what I got today. It's very pleasant to be out. I've been thinking of writing a little bit about what we learned on Holly's surgery. I'm very superstitious about talking about it, either saying that she's better because I'm afraid to say it. Some Irish leprechaun will jump up and confound me. But I was thinking of doing a short, book about it. I think I'd call it Catch Your Breath. And there are things that the public might find interesting, and it is an interesting story. So many of us have interesting stories. We just don't have the time to sit down and write them sometimes or explain them in a way that would do them honor. So if I wrote something, would you guys be interested in that? So that's it for the day, and I hope to get out more frequently and perhaps to resume my podcast again. So be well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.